Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL draft is less than 2 weeks away, and it's time to talk about some rookie sleepers that will get you ready for your rookie drafts. These are 8 rookie sleepers that are going to make you look like an absolute genius for drafting them. Let's get started. The first rookie we are going to talk about is Dillon Gabriel. Sure, I understand Dillon Gabriel is on the smaller side at the NFL Combine. He measured 5'11", 205 pounds. However, if you look at what he was able to do in college, especially early on as a freshman, 236 completions on 398 attempts. That's not necessarily a completion percentage that we like, 59.3%, but 3,653 yards, 29 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions. And you look throughout his career the next year at UCF, over 3,500 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And in his time at Oklahoma and Oregon, very similar numbers, very consistent, very accurate with the football. He is also going to give us something on the ground as a fantasy asset. Not much, but it's better than nothing, better than some of the other quarterbacks in this year's class. I mean, if you look back at his time in Oklahoma, over 300 rushing yards in 2022, 373 rushing yards in 2023, just 149 this year, but 7 rushing touchdowns, 12 rushing touchdowns the year before that. And then you turn on the tape, and Gabriel throws with accuracy. He throws with anticipation. He does lack the arm strength of some of the other quarterbacks in this class. That is true, and that is a fair concern. But when you look at the overall body of work, the film, the college production, it's pretty impressive. And then you go to PFF, where Dillon Gabriel was the number 8 best deep ball thrower in this class. When you look at PFF's data, it shows that Gabriel was a much better deep ball thrower than he was a short to intermediate thrower, which I think bodes well for his future in the NFL. Gabriel also ranked number 10 in PFF's overall passing grade amongst the eligible quarterbacks in 2025. And you add it all up, and I think you have a very good prospect in Superflex that's going to be drafted far later than he should be. Jaydon Blue is up next. Blue wasn't a big-time producer during his time in Texas, but I suppose that makes sense given the fact that he was up against the likes of, Bijan Robinson, Roschon Johnson, Jonathan Brooks, etc. But in 2024, if you were paying attention, Blue got a bigger role in the Texas offense and actually led the Texas running backs in rushing touchdowns with 8. He also caught 42 passes, which is a big deal for us in fantasy. And on tape, Blue is very agile, and he has the speed and the quickness to make big plays. He fits the mold of the new age running back, the undersized but dynamic running back that can also catch passes. And he was number 33 in missed tackles forced, tied with TreVeyon Henderson on 10 fewer carries. This is more of a bet on the traits that Blue possesses. The speed is insane. The 4.38 speed is no joke, and he ran even faster on his pro day. And if Blue finds a good landing spot with a pathway to opportunity on day 3 of the NFL draft, because that's probably where he's going to get drafted, I'll have a ton of Jaydon Blue on my dynasty teams. I'll have a ton of Jaydon Blue on my dynasty teams anyway. Marcus Yarns could be the next small school sleeper from a strong running back class. If you look at what he did at Delaware, he was fairly productive. He didn't have elite production unless you count 2023, where he scored 15 touchdowns, 940 rushing yards, and 300 receiving yards on 24 receptions. Outside of that, nothing in his production profile is going to scream at you. But on tape, he's a good, patient runner with burst. He can catch passes, and overall, he fits the mold of that prototype that I'm looking for, the undersized running back with a similar profile to the other running backs that we've seen be successful lately in the NFL. Marcus Yarns ranked number 28 in PFF's offensive grade amongst running backs, right behind RJ Harvey, number 22 in PFF's receiving grade amongst running backs, and number 38 in breakaway run percentage. And he's one of these players that some of your league mates might not even know about. So he is going to probably go on day 3. Landing spot's absolutely going to matter, but there is a ton of upside with Marcus Yarns. He is so underrated. Taj Brooks was extremely productive in his time at Texas Tech. Yes, he was there 5 years. I don't really care about that. The last 2 years were absolutely incredible. You could even go all the way back to 2022, where he caught 26 passes, scored 7 touchdowns that season. But the last 2 years are what really stand out. Over 1,500 rushing yards each season, double-digit touchdowns. and over 28 receptions in each season. And on tape, he isn't the fastest or the shiftiest running back out there, but he is solid in between the tackles and can make defenders miss, which is evidenced in his missed tackles force number at 58, which ties him number 20 amongst college running backs. Brooks was also very efficient as a runner, as he ranked number 4 in design runs over 15 yards with 26. Consequently, he was tied with Omarion Hampton in that category, minimum 100 rushing attempts amongst college running backs. He was number 11 in yards after contact, but ranked just number 121 in yards after contact per attempt, which is not great. But overall, the picture is pretty good when it comes to Tahj Brooks. Throw in the fact that he profiles as a really good pass catcher, and his pass block rating at 65.6 proves that he's not a liability in pass protection. There's a lot to like with Tahj Brooks, and he's going to go way late in your rookie draft. Tai Felton was producing during his time at Maryland despite subpar quarterback play. 1,100 receiving yards in his final season, 700 the year before is no joke. The profile is also very good. The 4.37 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, the elite burst score. The film on Felton is strong, as he is a good route runner and is routinely able to get separation. This is backed up by his strong PFF numbers. He's number 29 in PFF's receiving grade, tied with Luther Burden in that category this past season, minimum 25 targets. Felton is also a more dynamic after the catch than most people think. Number 5 in missed tackles force, right up there with the likes of Tetairoa McMillan and Luther Burden. The simple fact is, Tai Felton is a good wide receiver that's going to go way too late in your rookie drafts. Torrey Horton was very productive both at Nevada early in his college career, and then he was extremely productive at Colorado State. You look back, over 600 receiving yards in 2021 as a sophomore. In 2022, he broke out officially at Colorado State, 1,100 receiving yards. Oh, and then he did it again the next year in 2023. The profile is also very good. 4.41 speed at 6'3", 196 pounds. And the film shows a very dynamic pass catcher who's also really good after the catch. There's still some development that needs to happen with the more technical aspect of route running, but if you look at the PFF and advanced metrics, especially in 2023, the last full season Horton played, the numbers are very strong. In 2023, Horton ranked amongst the 2025 draft eligible wide receivers number 7 in PFF's receiving grade amongst college wide receivers, number 6 in yards after the catch, and tied for number 13 in yards per route run. But that season, he ranked just number 132 in average depth of target, which is not great. He also tied number 57 in yards per reception, also not great. So you see that this isn't a perfect prospect that we're looking at. And in 2024, he suffered a knee injury that limited him to just 5 games, but he did rank that season number 22 in PFF's receiving grade. Elijah Badger was a very productive college wide receiver for the past 3 seasons, both at Arizona State and in his final season at Florida. Going back to 2022 at Arizona State, over 860 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns. The next season, over 700 receiving yards, fewer touchdowns that season 3. But then at Florida this past year, he kept it up, over 800 receiving yards, 20.7 yards per reception, and 4 touchdowns. The profile is also very good. Badger at 6'1", 200 pounds, so that sweet spot. That's right in the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson in terms of size. 4.43 speed. The film shows a multifaceted wide receiver that can be utilized both as a deep threat or as a weapon in the short passing game. In 2024, Badger ranked number 21 in PFF's receiving grade amongst 2025 eligible wide receivers, minimum 25 targets, number 9 in average depth of target, number 11 in yards per route run, and number 23 in contested catch rate in 2023. 2023, Arizona State used him a little bit differently than Florida. He was number 26 in PFF's receiving grade, so that stayed the same. Number 190 in average depth of target. Compare that to number 9 in average depth of target at Florida. Huge difference. Number 57 in 2023 in yards per route run, and number 4 in missed tackles forced. So when given the opportunity to make people miss in the short to intermediate passing game, Badger proved that he was more than capable of doing so, and he's a really impressive player. He's going to make you look really smart for drafting him. Oronde Gadsden II will close it off with a bang here. Gadsden II was very productive during his college career at Syracuse. A Liz Frank injury in 2023 limited him, but still, the next season in 2024, 934 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns. And quite frankly, I'm a little bit surprised we're not talking about him more than we are. And on tape, Gadsden looks like a solid receiving tight end who isn't going to be a liability as a blocker. In 2024, Gadsden the second ranked, number 4 amongst tight ends in PFF's receiving grade, number 4 in overall offensive grade, number 9 in yards per route run, number 7 in average depth of target. And when you put together the total package on Oronde Gadsden the second, he's just a really solid tight end that should be talked about in the same breath as the Harold Fannin Jr.'s, the Terrence Fergusons, the Mason Taylors, and he's not. And that's reflected in my rookie tight end rankings. If it wouldn't have been for the Liz Frank injury in 2023, he might be further up some people's boards, but he's simply one of these tight ends that's not talked about because we have the Colston Lovelands and the Tyler Warrens in this class. Oronde Gadsden the second, very good player. You need to draft him at his current value. So there we go. Those are 8 rookie sleepers that are going to make you look like a genius. If you like this content, be sure to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, be good, everybody, and we will see you later.